Well, 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 what do we have here? Welcome to ranking Genshin characters as drivers. On my eternal quest to make every stupid tier list I can think of using Genshin characters, well, here we are. Starting up in the top, our categories today are perfect driving, could teach driver's ed class, good driver, gotten a ticket or two on accident, speedy driver, road rage, doesn't pay attention, frequent damage to the vehicle, fell asleep at the wheel, caused a massive Carl fell asleep at the wheel, caused a massive car crash pileup. Carl. And at the bottom we have multiple DUIs or hit and run, license revoked. Mr. Aether, you're up first as always. I wonder if I could like rearrange these so they're in a more random order one of these days. But besides that, he is the traveler. He's a responsible man. He gets into trouble once in a while, but I wouldn't say it's because of his driving. I don't see him like excessively speeding or having road rage. He would pay attention. I'm gonna put him in the second category. Good driver, got in a ticket or two on accident. Where would you place yourself on this tier list? I used to be in a yellow tier, but then I got my first ticket, realized how expensive they were. Never again. I don't see Albedo driving in the first place. Should I have a tier for they don't have a license? No, that defeats the purpose. I have to rank them as a driver. I can see him being super meticulous about it and being like, I must put on my seatbelt and have my hands at 10 and 2. Honestly, I'm getting the vibes that he would be a really safe, smart driver and would teach a class. I don't know why. You know when you aren't prepared for a pop quiz and you get that like sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize that you're about to fail? That's how I feel every time I see Aloy, because I still don't know anything about her and I haven't done my research. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put her there and hope that that's correct. Can someone in the comments just write me a paragraph about Aloy? Like, write me what I need to know about her personality, please. I'm begging you. Thank you in advance. Amber is a glider instructor, so I feel like she would also be a good driver and teach driver's ed, don't you think? She'd be that peppy teacher that makes going to driver's ed actually enjoyable for 5 seconds because it sucked. Oh, Ito. Oh, Ito. Let's see here. What are your offenses? Because you have some. We know you do.
Assault, theft, fraud, DUI, breaking and entering.
Doesn't pay attention. Frequent damage to the vehicle. I'm feeling the green tier for Ito, but hold on, let's investigate. Fell asleep at the wheel, caused a massive Why do I keep saying Carl? I don't see Ito getting multiple DUIs. I think he doesn't pay attention to frequent damage to the vehicle. He's on thin ice. Like, it's only a matter of time until he causes a massive car crash pileup. Barbara screams, I've gotten a ticket on accident and I cried my way out of it. Okay, Beidou. I don't know if she got multiple DUIs or charged with a hit and run, but she got one of those two things and her license got revoked on the spot. I know she captains a ship. I feel like she never learned how to drive, but just thinks she can do it anyway. Bennett is the king of doesn't pay attention, frequent damage to the vehicle. I'm putting him and Ito can like high five on their way to the auto zone to get their tires fixed. Ito, please, God. He's like, but I'm Arataki numero uno, damage to my car, Ito. Yo, you will not believe the sick bender I got into earlier. And Bennett's like, I didn't mean to, but it just happened. I didn't see the stop sign. I always get the hottest takes with Chongyun. Why do I guess that he's secretly like a road rage boy? I'm putting him there, you guys. He hasn't had his popsicles yet. He can't control himself. D-Luke, he seems like he would care about road safety. I'm gonna put him up here. He seems like a responsible man. I don't know if people would want to take his driver's ed class, but he would be a good teacher, I think. Diona, you know she's going in road rage real quick. Eula too. These homegirls are yelling behind the wheel. I feel like Fischl is texting and driving, and she's run into a stop sign. Bennett doesn't see the stop signs and blows through them. Fischl runs into stop signs because she's like playing Mystic Messenger or something. I don't know. Ganyu fell asleep at the wheel and caused a massive car crash pileup. I don't know. She was working really late and she just like didn't get any sleep and she like doesn't depend on other people. So she was like, it's okay, I'll drive myself home. Goro seems like a good driver. I think he's gotten a ticket or two on accident. He also cried and got his way out of the ticket. Hu Tao seems scattered in her brain where she wouldn't pay attention. Yeah, I'm gonna say she's in the green tier as well. Jean is a good driver, could teach driver's ed. She makes sure everyone has their seatbelt on. Kazuha, He's smooth with it, but would he be a good driver? I'm gonna say he's not a good driver. He's like that like random guy who's really smart and sweet, but he just some reason sucks at driving. He seems like the kind of guy that would delay getting his driver's license for a really long time because he didn't think it was necessary, but then he got forced into doing it and like never got his hours in to practice. Now Kaya, I don't think he's getting DUIs. I think he's a speedy boy. I think he's showing off for, you know, the ladies and gents out there. He's that guy who's like revving his engine a little bit and be like, hey baby, and like we've already talked about this before on the crime tier list because I said he would have like gotten tickets because he was speeding, but then he flirts with the cops. So he keeps doing it because he doesn't get in serious trouble since he's flirting his way out of the tickets. You see what I mean here? Ayaka, I'm gonna put her under, ooh, wait. I mean, she's not the type of girl to drive herself, but I guess I'll put her here. Kaching is giving frequent damage to the vehicle. She's almost giving road rage. Yeah. Kaching is giving, I got places to be. I'm a busy woman. The person in front of me is going too slow. I just gave them a love tap to make them go. Me though. Now, I could have made a category for the littles and said, doesn't drive, they're a child, but what's the fun in that? Klee has experienced a hit and run situation and had her license revoked. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. You know she'd be blowing people's cars up and then fleeing the scene. Oh god, Sarah teaches driver's ed with an iron fist. Lisa is texting and driving, or reading and driving, or doing her makeup and driving, I don't know. And whenever she like gets a dent in her car, she's like, oops, did I do that? Lumine, has she been affected by the abyss? Yes or no? I'm gonna say no. She's fine. Oh boy, Mona. All right, hot take. Tickets are expensive, you guys. I don't know if you've ever gotten a ticket before, but they are expensive. She doesn't have the type of money to be paying for those. She doesn't want a ticket. I feel like she would be a good driver, but because she's gotten a ticket or two in an accident before, she learned that like you can't afford to get more tickets because she doesn't have the money for them. Ningguang does not drive herself. Should I make a category for people who get chauffeured everywhere? But that's not the point. The point is if they had to drive, what would their talents be? I feel like she's a meticulous person and she wouldn't take that lightly. I guess I'll just put her up here. I think she would be okay. Noelle, almost want to put her in perfect driving, but I feel like she's a little timid. I'm gonna put her there. Chi-Chi fell asleep at the wheel and caused a massive pile-up car crash. Or like she couldn't see over the dash. I don't think A got multiple DUIs or did a hit and run, but she absolutely got her license revoked for some reason. She caused the biggest pile-up that Inazuma has ever seen. Something she did caused her license to get burned, so there's no way. Same with Razor. I don't know what he did. This boy like drove his vehicle off of a cliff. Razor never got a license, but somehow it got revoked. Rosaria also texts and drives. I feel like she drives with her like kneecaps, eating cereal while driving with her knees. I don't know. She doesn't care though. I almost want to put Kokomi fell asleep at the wheel because she's really overworked, similar to Ganyu. She has a lot of responsibility on her shoulders, but sometimes I think it's a little too much for her to handle, and she's like, she doesn't take driving seriously because she has other things to worry about. I just don't get the vibes that she's a good driver. I don't know. It might be a hot take. I might be wrong on that one. She's either in blue or orange, right? But I feel like putting her in orange is kind of boring. Sayu obviously fell asleep at the wheel. We already know that. We don't even need to discuss that. Shinha, if her red ropes were removed, would obviously be in hit and run or road rage. I'm gonna put her in good driver, gotten a ticket or two on accident. Sucrose is the same. She also cried when she got the ticket and may or may not have gotten out of it. Tartaggles, he got his license revoked. Again, I don't know how, but he certainly did. I'm feeling hit and run from him. He seems like the scary kind of guy who would be like, they'll never find out. It's like, they'll never find out what? Don't worry about it, partner. I was trying to think of the word. It's girly, not partner. Don't worry about it, partner. Toma is an excellent driver. He's a responsible man. He's gonna teach a nice, wholesome class on how to drive when you're feeling a little anxious, and Ayaka is gonna sign up for that. Venti has multiple DUIs. This category was made for him. You already know. When I read this one, you were like, haha, Venti. Dungling, she's a good driver. She's fine. Xiao is road rage boy. I don't want to say he's like a hit and run kind of guy, but he's definitely like behind the wheel. Jingqiu, I think, is a good driver. He's a meticulous boy. I don't think he's like Lisa where he'd be reading behind the wheel. I think he'd have a little bit more control than that. Xinyan seems fine. I think she's like a bit of an anxious queen, so I feel like she would take it seriously. Yaye is giving me similar vibes as Lisa, just texting and driving up the storm, bumps someone and goes, oops. And then she like flirts with the you know when like you hit somebody and you have to do the whole song and dance where they're like, all right, like give me your license plate number, we have to call the police, like file a report. And she'd be like, would that really be necessary? And they're like, no ma'am. And then she gets away with it. Now Yanfei is a lawyer and she's a very lawful person, but does that mean she's a good driver? Because my first instinct is like, oh, of course she's an amazing driver and she could teach driver's ed. But could she though? Or perhaps is she so overworked that she's snoozing behind the wheel? No, Yanfei has gotten a ticket or two before on accident, but she has talked her way out of them via loopholes in the law. I can feel it. Yoimiya is giving speedy driver, but not like the road rage variety, but the like having fun, blasting music, and just having a grand old time, and she's accidentally like hitting the pedal to the metal and going 15 over. Yoonjin is a good driver. We got a lot of pretty good drivers here. You know, they're not perfect, but they're like us. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. He seems like he would be a great driver. I don't know. He takes the rules extremely seriously, right? When he got his license, he signed a contract that he would be a safe, lawful citizen and drive respectfully, and he takes that very seriously. You know, these two boys here, you don't want to know what's going on. You simply don't want to know what they've done. Shinobu is a speedy driver because she's on her way to pick up Ito from the police station, and, you know, watch her get locked up too because she's speeding to help his dumbass. Yolan. Is she with these two bozos? No, she's with Kaya. She is in the, like, showing off her fancy car, zooming down the highway, not really giving a hoot because she's cool and she's hot. She definitely has like the fanciest car, and she's giving I never get pulled over because the cops are like, damn. Heizo, is he distracted by his detective work and doesn't pay attention? Perhaps he's a good driver. He seems to care about the public good. So I feel like maybe he would care about being a good driver and wouldn't want to like hurt other people. So I'm gonna put him under good driver. All right, and then we got 3 new people who I don't know. I don't want to miscategorize them when I don't know their personalities yet. Yeah, I'm gonna leave them down there. I don't want to miscategorize them, so we'll get to them once 3.0 comes out. Okay, so here is my drivers tier list. Let me take a little peep at this once. Cleaving down here just makes me chuckle, but it's so true. You know what? We're going with it, and thus the Genshin characters were categorized once more by a very ridiculous metric, but that's okay. What do you think? What's your headcanon? Pick a character, any character. Let me know what their story is with their driving journey. As per usual, if you are interested in categorizing for yourself, I will leave the tier list in the description. You're gonna have to reorganize the tags on the side here. Also, if you have any other suggestions for goofy tier lists, let me know. I have a running list of a bunch of them that you guys have suggested, and they're pretty nonsensical. Thank you as always for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!